I've done plenty of land developing in my past where I get raw land and present it with buildable lots to builders, but he certainly should have had more experience. I mean, he should still know about business and practice.
Democrat Stacey Abrams lost the Georgia gubernatorial race by about 1.5 points following the state's recount. She lost to Republican Kemp, but Abrams had been claiming Kemp.
Did these guys present themselves as Christian, as believers?
Purging a great many people from the voting rolls. Now a political action group led by Abrams' former campaign sued the state, saying voters were disenfranchised. Abrams herself never actually conceded loss, vowing to keep fighting.
It's election day, and
I'm just asking this because of your accent. Are you a fan of Sheila Walsh? Walsh? Oh, and you've never heard of her? She's a female preacher, and she has the exact same. You could be her. Her accent is exactly the same as yours. Okay, so hang on, and I'll be back to you. I just needed to. I need to. Is there a way you can get us a contract?
Going on maternity leave.
She is, yeah.
I mean.
And then she's got.
Yes. Hold on, and Suzanne's going to talk to you. Hold on. Okay. Could you? She says she'll send a contract. She just needs her email. So let's get that.
I will do that. Mark is telling me I think on his way back he wants to do an update on the air for the case he's on down there. And there was one other thing.
Does he want to do it on the phone, right?
He says to call him here on the.
Good. Let's do that.
Okay, and then Rich was a contractor, City of Centennial, threatened him. Said, if you don't pay this lady back, we're going after you for the Contractors Trust Act. We're going to file charges. So he might be interesting to talk to.
I have a couple guys one big, and it doesn't look like it. Unbelievable. What's just amazing is that they don't hold people like that accountable. Keep on going. The Florida election, where they
was there fraud there?
Oh, it looks like she resigned and stuff.
Who is she?
What's her name?
And was it fraud on one side or the other, or just fraud?
Well, she's a Democrat. She was the one that had the plot.
Logan at Plumline Services?
Yeah.
What is that for?
Yeah, maybe I got it.
Just a little bit ago. I was working on it here a little bit ago.
Maybe I just
got it handled. No big deal.
Thank you.
Say, Jan, as a fellow respected small business professional, I wonder, who do you use for commercial auto and business?
You know why? I'll tell you why. Because no one wants to do it because it'd be called racist. That's what it comes down to.
Yes, the conversation was always whereas commercial business insurance
because, like I say, they got the media behind
it. Today, insurance provided and serviced by Progressive Casualty Insurance.
I have never seen more contentious times in American history, I swear to God.
I think it's because you have a Republican in there, but
it's not just having a Republican; it's having a contentious Republican.
Okay, so
listen, Dan, you know as well as I do.
On eligible purchases every day.
Listen, I'm not talking about politics. He's an asshole.
I agree.
I mean, and I hate the liberal agenda, and I hate the ultra-conservative. I mean, I'm truly just a person. Like, if you talk to most people, they'll just say, well, I know, I like some of this, and I like some of that. But, man, I'll tell you, the progressive movement could not have benefited more ever in their lives than having Trump as president. He has motivated the liberal progressive movement to a point that has never been done before. You're going to see ultra liberals. I mean, you're going to see sweeping elections.
I disagree with that.
Oh, wait.
The reason I say that, Tom, is because their agenda is going to fail.
Well, it doesn't really matter.
And you have the media putting just one side of the story out.
Politics trump everything. It doesn't matter. If people believe politically in something, you could be in a full goddamn depression, and they'll say we're better off. People are blinded by politics. They will talk themselves into, well, it was the previous agenda that got us here, if they're in total shit. And if they're not in total shit, they'll say it was our agenda that kept us here. They will make the circumstances fit their politics, not the other way around. They will never change. You will never change politics ever based on a condition. You will do the other way around. You will fit those conditions to your politics. It's so ingrained in people, they go against women's rights, they'll go against race. You know, a black woman is a god when it comes to a minority, because black women have been so oppressed for so many years. Yet if you have a Republican conservative black woman, it all goes out the window. It's the politics supersede that.
But see, and I agree, but when you have the media giving them one side of the story,
you know, first we look at politics, then we look at all the other qualifiers. And I'm saying, man, it shouldn't be that way, but it is. With everyone.
Oh, I don't think everyone. No, I disagree with that. I disagree with that, everyone. I'd say there's a lot out there.
Well, there's a lot of us.
They don't do research.
There's a lot of us who are normal. I say normal because I swear to God, there are so many progressive things I like and so many conservative things I like. I liked some things Trump did. I hated other things. I liked some things Trump did. I mean, I wonder why. It's not sexy to be in the middle, and I'm not even in the middle, but it's not sexy to have, I think, do you think it is to have diverse views? I don't think you can't take really a stand with one party or the other. So I think you get lost. Do you or not? Or do you think?
You absolutely can't. If you disagree, then it doesn't matter what side you're on. If you disagree, then you're a racist or a sexist or you get labeled almost immediately.
It's too much. Don't you think it's too much? Yeah. People get labeled too easily.
Right. That's what I mean.
Hello, I'm Tom Martino, and this hour brought to you by Centeno Schultz, True Living Stem Cell Therapy. We are having a seminar, and I say we because I'm going to be there, and I want to meet and greet, and I want to listen, and I want to really and truly take it in because I am so tired of the lying and cheating and ripoffs. Do you understand this show? I hope it's not a downer for you, but at least we're not fighting politics, right? Where everything conservative, where everything progressive is good or bad, and everything on the other side is good or bad. We're not trying to change your politics. We're not trying to change your religion. We want to help everyone. That's the one thing that's uniting about this show. I just want to help, I swear to God, and I just can't stand, I don't know what it is, maybe my background growing up with a single mom who was ripped off. I can't stand the war we're in right now with contractors. Mostly contractors. If we look back at this year, contractors. And then the second biggest ripoff, what do you think it is? Stem cell therapy. Fake stem cell therapy. And I have a challenge for anyone listening. And you call your doctor and tell him, you put up $10,000 and let us test the fluid you're having shipped into your office. And I will bet you $10,000, not to your favorite charity, right to my big ass pocket. I want 10 grand. I'm going to bet you that you will find no substantial living stem cells. I say substantial because you'll see 2 or 3 or 4 in your samples. Why? Because you cannot ship living stem cells in amniotic fluid or umbilical cord blood. No matter what they tell you, they are lying to you. And you can tell your chiropractors and all the rest of them. That's why I am so hell-bent on promoting Centeno Schultz, because they extract stem cells from you at the time of your visit, and they are true. It's true living stem cells. You find out more Tuesday the 11th, December 11th on a Tuesday, starting at 6:30, the Denver Marriott Tech Center. Free snacks and drinks. I don't know about alcohol, but I know we're going to have refreshments. Tuesday, December 11th, 6:30, Denver Marriott Tech Center. If you want to call them ahead of time, and well, you got to call them to reserve a seat. But you can call also just to go in and see about stem cell therapy for pain, for arthritis, for joints. 303-963-9201. 303-963-9201. Centeno Schultz. So, number one complaint all year. Number one complaint. Lying, cheating, scumbag ripoffs. Contractors, number one. What's number two? You got any ideas? Stem cell. What do you think number three is? Well, we'll talk about it coming up. Contractors, number one. Number two, stem cell therapy. Yes, as far as the number one and number two complaint, stem cell therapy. Who would ever think stem cells. Do you know what's really strange? Automobiles, way down on the list. Do you know we used to have cars as the #1 problem every single year? Not so now. Not so now. We have guests with us, Bob Logan from Plumline Services for plumbing, heating, cooling, electric, and drains. And then American, right? American Fence or America Fence. I thought that was a typo. America Fence Building and Repair. America Fence Building and Repair. We'll talk to Gary, isn't it? Is that Gary? Yeah, I know your last name's Cochran, but it says Gray here, and I think it's Corcoran. Corcoran. And it is Gary, not Gray, right? Okay. Okay, so Mark Major is out investigating one of these rip-offs with contractors. And Jade called in and said, I think this was on the day I bought my house, that night, a flood, I believe. A pipe broke or something. Mark will explain it. Give us some background first, Mark. And Mark went out there personally to investigate. Mark Major. Go ahead, Mark. What?
Yeah, you're on the right story, man. She closed on the house that night. You know, $30,000 worth of water damage. She called ServPro up to come out there and, of course, get rid of the water, dry the place out before the mold comes in. They did, or at least it appears, a great job at that.
Right. I want to mention that, Mark. I want to mention that mitigation is...
They did great.
Cleanup and mitigation... I'm all for cleanup and mitigation companies. I am totally against them taking it to the next level. I know that a lot of these companies want to have the repair and the contracting work. And I say you separate those. If it turns out that in your search for a contractor, they just happen to measure up, that's fine. But in general, cleanup and mitigation companies do not do a good job on the contracting side. So, Mark, what did you find with Jade? She hired ServPro, and you said they did a good job with cleanup and mitigation. What went wrong?
Then it fell apart. They hired a subcontractor who they fired now. This guy is really gone out of the company altogether, never to be used again. They had a bill for her for what they said was done already of around $22,000. The insurance company has paid out $13,000 to ServPro so far. So they were looking today for her to pay an additional $8,000. Then they were going to cut ties with her, let Moses come in, one of our guys, on referral list and get the job finished because it's gone so haywire. Here's the good news. That bill, we went line item per line item today. That bill is going to be right about what the insurance company already paid them. So it's not going to be $22,000. The guy they sent out seems very reasonable. He acknowledged everything that wasn't done, took him off the estimate. It looks like she's going to have the exact amount of money, maybe even put a little into her pocket to have Moses come in, play cleanup, get the drywall, and everything.
Mark, I have to ask you, so I want to clarify this. ServPro, they seem to be pretty good to work with.
They were, okay, after meeting this guy, I feel a lot different. Long as they come back and the bosses or the ownership agrees to everything we just agreed to, which I'm fairly certain is going to be happening, they'd be crazy for it not to happen. He just acknowledged what was not done, which was, $9,000 of what they wanted to charge for. I do think they did okay. I mean, they shouldn't have got into the construction part because they had a flake in there.
Okay, so to be fair, ServPro did good cleanup and mitigation, but where they went wrong is they hired a subcontractor to do the rebuild.
And he was a joker, and I don't think they realized how much he didn't do.
Who is this guy?
They didn't already pay him.
Who is this guy?
I'll get his name. We were concentrating on numbers.
Listen, we have to, Mark, we have to start exposing.
I think it was Juan or Jose.
Okay, yep. Oh, my God, it's like, okay, here's the first question I would ask a contractor. Are you seeking political asylum? If the answer is yes, I'd say, well, we'll wait until you get settled. And the second one I want to know is, how long have you been in business, and do you have true references? You know what? People don't even check references anymore, Mark. So bottom line, this woman, she must be pretty grateful. Jade must be pretty grateful.
Oh, yeah. She used, here's another one she used. They actually had, one of the line items was a couple $1,000 they bid out on electric. She didn't even use them for the electric because it was outside of the flood, outside of the insurance claim. She called Fix It 24/7. They came out, they knocked all that stuff out, but these guys were still trying to charge for it. But like I said, as soon as we went line per line, they came around, and it looks like not only did they do a good job on the water and the damage mitigation, but it looks like they're not trying to hold her hostage. They're letting her out of the agreement because they had a bad sub in there. And honestly, I got to give them a decent report at this.
Okay, good. This time. Good. I'm glad to hear that. Major Mark Major on his way back to the studio. And I'll tell you, this is something we face each and every day. Each and every day. Steve wants to give some kudos. And by the way, you're allowed to call and give kudos. And they can be about anyone. It doesn't have to be on the referral list. Steve, you have kudos for Sheridan Auto Tech?
Yes, Sheridan Auto Tech in Aurora.
Yeah.
I had a 13-hour shift on Tuesday, went out to my car, would not start. All my friends from work gave me their, subpar opinion. I was taken to Sheridan Auto Tech on Wednesday, a little late. Turned out to be bad battery terminals.
Uh-oh.
And they stayed a little bit later to work on the car, get it fixed so that I could have it for the long Thanksgiving weekend, and I appreciate that so much.
Thank you. Thank you for
what I thought it would do.
Thank you for holding to let us know. We really appreciate that. That's Steve who called in. You guys can call in about anything. As I said, we all have one common goal. I don't know anyone who could have a dispute with the show who wants to help people. Now, you may not like how we go about helping people. You may think, hey, that was wrong or this was wrong, but you can call too. We want you to, if you're an expert, a professional, give us a call. Give us your input. 303-713-TALK. And remember, you can also, at any time, you can simply call 303-MARTINO, 303-627-8466, leave a message, and we will get back to you. This is open enrollment. Do you know what that means? It means it's the time and the only time by law that you can sign up for health insurance unless you have a life-altering event, meaning like you change a job or move. Integra Insurance is one of the sponsors that I say everyone should use. There's not one sponsor that I say absolutely everyone needs them, absolutely everyone, because you don't always need someone. You need Integra Insurance because it's insane trying to shop for health insurance. There are so many choices on and off the exchange. If you're confused by the new law, by the requirements, by what you need, Integra will never do anything without your full approval, and they'll give you all of your options and make recommendations. They'll even help with Medicaid and with Medicare supplements. And, of course, with tax credits to help you lower the cost. 303-466-5500. Pass this around, 466-5500. You don't save one dime by going direct. Not one. They don't charge you. It's built in, and you don't save any money going direct. So why not take advantage of free services? IntegraInsurance.com.
This report is sponsored.
I never talked about Hardy. I like Everlast.
There is an accident.
Everlast.
Needs to clear getting through the construction zone. I-70 eastbound at I-270. It's causing a delay on eastbound I-70 from Colorado.
How long is this break?
Also, because of road construction, the left lane is shut down, so slowing speeds on I-76 west starting at Pecos, heading out towards Sheridan.
We had
the
a lot
rush
of,
is clear in the touch center, 225 south at I-25. Still some slowing from Parker, and a reminder that the ramps at I-25 north and south at Dry Creek are closed for police activity. Denver weather, sunshine with a high getting up toward 59.
Can you guys do bids and fence like over the phone? We pretty much have to do there.
If somebody calls in and says, hey, Because they've already checked a couple of different places. What do you do for 250 feet? All I got to know is how many gates, how many corners, if they were 1x4 or 1x6 picket, and I can give them something over the phone off the top of my head because it's going to be about $32 a foot.
As long as you don't put a gate in there?
Well, with the, you know, that'll include a gate if it's included. If they want to put another gate, it's $80 for the second gate.
Okay.
And then I'll say, no, I haven't seen it yet. You might have to.
Right, there might be a little more
tree roots and
you bet.
landscaping we got to move. Other than that, it should be pretty close, give or take.
Gotcha.
So that I can do, and I do that probably half a dozen times a week, maybe.
Wow.
And you know, sometimes they call back, sometimes they don't.
So one by four. You're talking about the cedar picket fence, right?
Mm-hmm.
There's actually 1x4. I know mine's only like 2.5 inches.
That's just got an old picket. They don't
Right. They don't make
Ours is 4. It's actually 3 3/4. There's a 4 and a 1x6.
All you need is the appraisal. 303-867.
Gotcha.
But we do everything. I mean, we can do everything. I just don't like doing PVC.
rail.
You know, yeah, it's, you know, the white stuff that you see. I mean, the wood scrape, a hailstorm comes, all of a sudden, 2 years later, you got 50 holes that you can't replace it. You got to replace the hole. I like not to do that.
Gotcha.
Because they said, well, you should have known that. You got to replace it. I'm sorry. I guess I'll change the entire industry, Susie. So I try to talk people out of it because the hailstorm hits a cedar fence.
Repiping an entire home in just
You get a little
stain.
You spray over and you can't even see it's there. You can't do that.
20% off and 0% interest for an entire year.
So you could just 1x4 and 1x6.
Yeah.
What's cheaper, 1x4 or 1x6?
1x4s are cheaper, but 1x6 by the time you take out less nails, a little less labor because you put in a third less pickets. And 10% is the same thing. A 1x6 picket looks, in my opinion, a lot better.
Because my HOA, I don't think they will allow even 1x4s or 1x, because they want everything like it is. And it's
2.5.
Yeah. Huh?
Where do you live?
Little Creek. So it's Quebec and County line.
Yeah.
Well, if it's 2.5, they're going to be special ordered.
Well, I thought Home Depot has they got the you don't like them? Okay. They got they got the panels. Like say, you don't like that.
A lot of that stuff.
Oh my God! You know, I just happen to get a list of houses that are for sale. I just keep up on the market. It is incredible what's going on for $40,000.
Put all the posts in, put the crossbars in.
It's unbelievable.
Gotcha.
And if you pay to have me offer that as a service as well, if you stain that. Juan did mine 10 years ago, 12 years ago in my house. Looks as good as what he did 10 years ago.
Whether you're buying or selling a home,
don't get much.
I recommend you no one better than Frank
But if
Duran,
you take nice #1 cedar, that's all we install. 6, 7, 8 years it'll start graying, it'll be gray, but 50 years from now, the pickets and the rails will be, the upholstery might start out after 20 years or 30 years or whatever, but the pickets and stuff will be pretty good. But if you treat it,
303-920-1622 or
it'll be there for decades.
Yeah. No, because my house is 82. And it's starting to look, I mean, you're right, the posts do, especially if there's something laying up there. So
Yeah.
you're right, that cedar lasts a long time.
Well, it's a tree. Cedar trees last for hundreds of years. Why wouldn't a fence last?
I'm Tom Martino, your troubleshooter. Ideal Home Loans for your next ideal home loan. The only company with an interest rate guarantee. If you refinance or buy and rates go down, you can do it, again, free of charge. Free of charge. Ideal Home Loans. Here's the deal. They also have other programs like credit optimization to get you better pricing. You know, behind the scenes, they evaluate your credit. And even though you get approval, you may think, I'm approved. That's okay. And it is. You'll get a loan. But if you tweak your credit, you could possibly go down by 1/4 point or so because they get better wholesale rates, and then you get better retail rates when it comes to loans. People don't know that, but you're still tiered after you are approved. You're still tiered. And here's the deal. Most people don't even know it because they just go with whatever is published as an interest rate. But you can do even better than that by tweaking credit legally, ethically, and quickly, and they do that behind the scenes, and you don't even know it's happening unless sometimes they say, hey, if you pay this one card down by $20 or $40, it will change your ratios. So Ideal Home Loans for your next Ideal Home Loan, 303-867-7000, idealhomeloans.com. Melanie has a question. Go ahead, Melanie, what's happening?
Hi, Tom.
Hi, what's going on?
Hi. My husband's grandfather died 3 years ago, and my husband was named in his will. And I know that he had some assets, but we haven't heard anything from them. So my question is really, if we make an inquiry into the will, does the executor of the will find out? You know,
here's what's weird. Here's what's really weird, Melanie. You don't have a right to see the will unless you're in the will. Okay. And if you're not in the will, and all someone has to say is you're not in the will, I've always thought this was queer. Like, hey, why is it that I can't ask just to see, and just to see it for myself? Like, how do I know that the personal representative is telling me the truth? But unless you're in it, you have no right. So it's weird. So if you want to know, in other words, you just flat out ask, you want to know, did my grandfather leave me anything? You would have to ask the personal representative and go by what they tell you. And there's really nothing to prevent a personal representative from lying.
Okay.
You'd have to sue. Now, if you sued, then the will would become evidentiary. You would say, listen, I believe I was left something and they're covering it up.
Okay. Okay. So even though so it wouldn't be me asking necessarily, it would be my husband because he was named in the will, but you're still saying we would have to... You have to ask.
You have to ask. Well, I mean, why don't you just ask?
Because if it was me, I would, but my husband, his family they just don't talk about that kind of stuff. And my husband doesn't want to appear greedy. But
well, I understand that, but the only way... Okay, does he trust his family? And if so, then, okay, then he doesn't have anything to worry about. They'd contact him if he has anything coming.
Okay.
I mean, how long has it been total since right now?
Well, it's been about 3 years.
Oh, it's way too long. He didn't get anything.
Well, but about 6 months ago, we got another letter saying that something was extended for another 6 months. But that has passed. Now that time period has passed as well.
You know, we should get David Salisbury on, and I'd like to get him on, if we can't get him on this show, just reschedule it, because there are a lot of questions I have about rights to see wills. Because
but you're saying probably he just wasn't left anything.
Probably, that would be my hunch. Hold on. But here's what I'm going to do. We're going to get your number and call you back when we can get a hold of David. Many times we try to get a hold of him and we can't, so we may have to schedule for another day. When is David coming in, David Salisbury?
Oh, Tommy was supposed to come in this week, but he had to reschedule.
See if you can get him for a question.
I'm trying right now.
So we'll see if we can get him for a question. 303-713-TALK. Bob, what's on your mind? Bob.
Hey, I want to thank Bob from Plumline.
Oh, cool. Okay.
Because, I mean, I think I'm a stockholder in Plumline because I've done so much work for them or with them.
Oh, cool. What did you have done that you love?
Well, I've had the whole house done by either Ryan Oakes, the electrician.
Yeah. So what did you particularly call about today?
What am I calling about today?
Yeah.
Well, last night, the furnace went out about 5:30. You know, and that's panic time, right?
Yeah.
Everybody's aware of that.
Right.
And I called and Mark in our dispatch, and I don't remember the girl's name, was really quick to answer the phone and said dispatch would call me back.
Okay, could we get, Bob, I love hearing stories, I really do, but I can't go through the whole thing. What was it that impressed you so much? Was it the immediacy?
Yes.
And when they came to your home?
Yes.
What happened?
They fixed it.
I didn't mean to be that immediate, but okay. Bob, they fixed it, and it was quick, it was efficient, it was everything you hoped for.
Yeah, and their follow-up is great.
No, it is.
They sent an email showing me what the technician looked like and he called and said, I'm at the door.
Good.
And, I mean, you know, it just, everything works great.
Was this after hours?
Pardon me?
Was this after hours, you said?
This was after hours.
Well, that's good to know, Bob. Thank you. I really do appreciate it.
Bob, I truly appreciate you. This is Bob from Plumline, and we appreciate you.
Yeah, and we love hearing good stories. We really do. And I don't mean to rush people, but David Salisbury, attorney at law, we did get him on the phone. Here he is. Okay, David, thank you. You do wills, probate, trusts, and all of that. And Melanie, you know, Melanie brings up a good topic. And she doesn't so much have a specific question, but she has an issue that comes up all the time. And Melanie's husband's granddad died like 3 years ago or so. Hey, David, you know, we've had this question time and time again. If we suspect we maybe maybe somebody left us something, what is our right to see the will? Okay, your grandfather, even a neighbor, somebody died 3 years ago, or tomorrow, or yesterday, and then when can we ask, hey, by the way, I have a suspicion I'm in the will, can I see it?
Well, you know, it's kind of a catch-22, Tom, because, you know, for example, if a lawyer's handling it and they called me and said, you know, I'm Tom Martino, I think I'm in the will of so-and-so, and I look at the will and you're not there, I'm going to say, well, I'm sorry, but I can't give you a copy. But I know what you're asking. You're asking where somebody's holding the will and they won't give you a copy.
Well, won't. They just don't even think about it. What if I am curious? I want to know if I'm left anything. Do I simply ask the personal representative and depend on their honesty?
Well, keep in mind, if a probate's been open, then the will, you may be able to get a copy of the will online. You may need a lawyer to do that, but you can.
Wait a minute. Can anyone look at a will? Anyone can look at anyone's will?
No. Well, the answer is no, because many times they hold them back for whatever reason. But if you get an attorney, he can access the information and get a copy of the will. But otherwise, Tom, you just ask the person who has the will, can you give me a copy? I think I'm in it.
Well, okay, what if they say no and you're not in it and they lie?
Well, then they're going to be violating, they're going to be committing a crime.
Yeah, but who would ever know? I mean, in other words, I would have to sue, right?
Well, here's the thing. If you're listed in the will, when they open the probate, they have to give you notice. They have to send you notice that it's happening. And keep in mind, if your name's in there, the court is going to want your name to be on the application, and they're going to want you to get notice of the fact that a probate's being opened.
David, are you saying if I am named as an heir or whatever you call it in a will, I must be notified that a probate's been opened?
Yes.
What is to prevent no probate? What if there is no probate? What would prevent, I guess the bottom line is, what prevents a personal representative from keeping most of it for himself or not wanting to give it to a cousin because he doesn't like the cousin?
Well, I mean, that happens. It does happen.
Yes, it does.
And unfortunately, you know, I would send a letter to the personal representative. I would say, I think I'm in it. You can send a letter to the court and say, hey, look, you know, I think I'm a beneficiary. Can you look into this for me?
Okay, now I want to ask this. Are wills in probate private or not? Or are they technically public record?
Technically, they're public record.
Okay, so anyone can look at anyone's will. I go back to that. What would, if I make an inquiry into a probate, I have a case number, what's to prevent me from looking at all the exhibits?
Well, you'd have to go down to the courthouse unless you had a lawyer to go in and look for it, but you could.
Okay, so she can do that. Melanie, has a probate been opened?
You know, I guess I'm not exactly sure what that means. I mean,
okay, what it means is many estates do not do planning, and they have properties that need, well, even with some planned estates, they have properties that need to be transferred. They have either vehicles or real estate or things with titles that must be transferred. The only way to do that is through probate, unless previous arrangements were made with trusts. So,
well, then I know that the grandfather had a lot of real estate, and so I would say that, yes, it probably has been opened.
Now, David, on another question, very quickly, because we're running out of time. If we have a trust, Does the ownership of this stuff remains in the trust and is distributed to the beneficiaries without probate, right?
That is correct.
But then how do I get it titled to my name if I want to take it out of the trust?
Well, the trustee would sign whatever document was necessary, whether it's a deed or
without probate.
Without probate.
Okay, so Melanie, if he has trusts, you're not going to see him. You're only going to see public probate, and you have to call, or you just have to find out the case number and go and look at the file, or contact an attorney to do it, and the attorney will charge you. David, have you had people request that you look into certain cases? David?
Excuse me?
Yeah,
yes, I do. And if she wants to give me a call, I can at least look and see if a probate's open.
Yeah.
I can't get into the file without doing something else, but I could look and just see if it's been filed. All I need to know is the name and the county in which he resided when he died.
Okay, so that's what we're going to do. So, Melanie, you see, we do help people, and we love doing this. You're going to be able to find out if a probate's been filed.
Okay.
If you want to go deeper, that's up to you and your husband.
Right.
And you're going to call 720-493-3911. 720-493-3911. That's David Salisbury.
How you doing, Mark?
Bob, how are you, man?
I'm doing great.
What do you make of this response? She still doesn't explain shit.
No.
Nothing. Literally nothing. How come she's blaming them and she had a general contractor that's pricing and doing everything? I don't get it.
Treatment for your thyroid. Honest to goodness, you will never.
Can you help us track down the job in your records? That's what I want. Can you help? Did she mention that?
She never, no address, no phone number, nothing to look up here.
Okay, landscaping was included in this contract.
And also,
She didn't even send the contract.
I know.
Included in what contract? The one with her GC or the GC and egress?
Botox, they have collagen.
Literally, she gave you the same response she gave me. Not a effing thing.
2302 720.
This is for something you guys must just do.
Yeah! Watch it, bud.
You're talking over my head.
Don't make me use big words.
You need to stay young and healthy. HormoneRose.com. Are you gluten-free? Don't get left out at the dinner table with the foods you love. Bring in the holidays with delicious gluten-free bread, waffles, cupcakes, and so much more. Gluten-free Things, a dedicated gluten-free vegan bakery in Arvada. Check them out online at glutenfreethings.com.
Strategies provides financial planning.
$32 a foot.
Forward-looking tax mitigation strategies.
Yeah, it's going to go up, that's probably 150 feet. You have 60 feet, it's only going to be 40.
What's that, fencing?
Yeah.
Today is the day you break the stranglehold of addiction. You and your family can't take another precious day to this horrible disease. If you or someone you know is abusing alcohol, prescription drugs, hard illegal drugs, or if
Where did you get your
depression or trauma,
impetus and knowledge of fencing?
please know you're not alone. There's help. Call the Raleigh House today. They've established
My daughter, youngest daughter, played volleyball in high school with another girl. Her mother, when we was up at Greeley, watching a weekend club volleyball tournament, she said, I own a mortgage company and a mortgage service company. I was in a suit every day. Hey, this guy just sold me his fence company, but these men won't listen to me what I'm saying. And I said, I worked in construction when I was in college. What do you want? She did a big deal with Roy Lamb and the federal government to each pitch in state and federal $1,800 for these troubled youth. Next time they get arrested, they go to the big house. And I said, so what are you going to get? She said, we're going to get $58,000 a month coming in. All we're going to do is keep them employed. I said, holy crap, if you cover the labor, if we don't have to pay the labor, the material costs can't be more than 40 to 50%. She says, I'll give you half the money if you get these crews started and stuff. And I said, well, I don't know about that I could do that.
Wow. And you made the transition.
That's where I started.
How many years ago was that?
25.
Wow.
I thought he was, instead of nets, he was going to put up fencing to make it more challenging so you can't see the other side.
So you got any of those kids still working?
No, they were really
They're all in the big house.
They are really,
That's where he's going, aren't you?
they are really bad characters.
Really?
Yeah.
They were putting up fences and taking cars.
She was female. She was
And you and I were paying for them.
Yeah, we were paying, that's right.
Oh, so that's why she got the deal. So I didn't get the deal because I'm a white guy. I've destroyed the entire planet. So that went away, and I said, you know what, I'll just do enough because I bought 2 trucks, 2 trailers, all that material. And I said, I'll just do this one and if you get my...
Sir, I bet you we're not going to find it because none of that is in the contract. We're going to find that when you ask for details, and it's not cumbersome, I'm sending you this. I'm simply asking.
You know how many times between both of us we've asked for the basics now? I'm shocked, I am shocked she didn't give you the address.
Especially
or the
the
contract.
last 10 years.
Because you know what it's going to be. The contract is going to be with the G.
It still will give us an idea, huh? Even if it's with the general, I mean, they should do a good job, and if they did fuck it up like that, if they truly did destroy stuff,
Don't you think they would have had any kind of inkling if that was them, if there was a deal with landscaping? I think
I don't
Ben
know.
Regress
We're
would
going to
have
find out. That's what we have to do. We're simply asking. We have a claim that they fucked up a job and we can't find it.
I feel like
All we're asking
got
for is a
fucking
job.
riddle with her.
We're just asking for the job. I said, read my email.
The new one?
Yeah, read what I responded. You don't have to read. Oh, did you already respond to her?
No, I didn't respond.
Is it, like you go, imagine you tear down, you pull out the old cement or
Corners and gate posts on them.
You guys ever think of hiring guys on work release?
No.
Come on. Think of the labor savings.
Art of Granite for countertops and cabinets. Wholesale on all countertop material. They're stone importers. And you get a small markup on the cabinets. They tear out and haul away free. They also do the bathroom free when you have the kitchen done. So just remember, artofgranite.net. Look at them. And they'll give you a price on the phone. Can you believe that? People don't like pricing on the phone. 303-386-5919. 303-386-5919. Artofgranite.net. You know, one of the things I said, we're at war. We're at war with contractors. Mark, it feels like all year we've been battling contractors who take money and don't do work. I'm sick and tired of it.
All year.
Bottom line here, we have now finally a fence guy. Gary, thank you very much. Gary Corcoran is with America Fence Building and Repair. I can't...
American?
America.
America Fence.
Yeah, I know it's weird. I said the same thing.
Very weird.
Hey, Gary, how long you been in business?
This is our 25th year.
25 years. You know what? What's the average life of a fence company?
Probably 5.
If that.
I believe it.
If that. You've been in business 25 years. Okay, do you know how many times we get, especially with fencing, down payments, they never see the guy again?
And our big companies don't want to do fences.
I'll bet you get the calls.
Yeah, we have people that say they listen to Tom Martino, so they don't want to give us our down payment for half. And if that happens, I say, great, pay us when we're done.
Now listen, here's the other thing people
I like that.
Well, no, here's the deal. I like it too. I don't say never. What I say is I wouldn't give half.
Me neither.
But I would under certain circumstances. For example, if guys that I know ask for half and I know them, I would do it, but I'm not saying you should do it. Another thing. If you can pay by credit card, put down half. I mean...
Custom, like a custom window.
And if something is ordered... It's spelled out at referralist.com about money down. It's spelled out there, okay? So I don't say never, ever, ever, but it's up to you and it's up to contractors. This guy is golden.
You do privacy, you do split rail, you do all of it, I assume.
What's the most popular fence, basically? What's the most popular fence? You got to turn on the mic there.
I thought he was going to say vinyl.
Is it privacy?
Yeah, 6-foot privacy, cedar.
And you like cedar.
I love cedar.
You don't like plastic, or you do? I love plastic.
It looks great, but I was out doing a bid in Brighton yesterday, and they have the whole neighborhood like that. Both sides of the Klan I was out looking at, over the hailstorm, the entire neighborhood has got huge chips out of it, and after it's a couple years old, they discontinue the style, and you can't even match it, so you got to replace the whole side. Or the
with cedar, it's easy to match, isn't it?
Yeah, you just take out 20 pickets or 30 pickets, or You replace a section.
I never thought of that. But maintenance, though, I had plastic fence, 3 rail.
I do right now. Vinyl.
I had 3 rail vinyl fence for years and years and years and years, and it looked like the day I put it in. So is that just a matter of quality of the vinyl?
No, it's just probably what weather pattern you live under.
Yeah, the hail would kill it.
Well, it was in Colorado. I mean, I don't remember.
But we have clients out in Franktown and Parker.
That's where I was.
That's where I am.
That, man, there's a lot of hail out there. There's a lot of hail out.
Isn't it funny? I was blessed, I guess. I never had a problem.
I got trees. We don't get hit by hail.
Something did happen, though, with my rails.
I had a deer crash through ours about, I don't know, a month ago. We looked out front, and the top rail was gone.
Yeah, some of times the rails will fall out. But, okay, let's get to this. Privacy fence. What else do you do? Do you do any chain?
How about fancy gates, like gates that open for the driveway?
Double drive gates.
Do you do them?
Yeah, we do those.
Automatic?
We farm that out because
that's
that
almost
is
a specialty.
so rare
It's a specialty.
that we can't do that. But we do everything.
Okay. And it's that easy. You do them all. And you deal directly with the customers. You don't use subs, or you do?
Nope, they all work for us.
Good stuff.
We have workman's comp. Most companies don't do that. $2 million worth of liability insurance. Most companies don't have that. So we do everything, A+ rating with the BBB, so we do everything because it's my name that's going on the fence, so I want it done right.
America Fence, Building, and Repair.
America.
And I understand that it's America. Yeah, America Fence Building and Repair. America Fence Building and Repair. You're an artist. You're an incredible artist. When did you start doing this art? This is incredible stuff.
What is it?
What would you call this style? What is it?
What are you talking about?
Is this not you?
Well, why would he be doing that?
Suzanne, are you telling me a story? Is this not him?
I thought that was
He says he doesn't know anything about it.
Oh, that's my stuff, Tom. I'm sorry.
Oh, it is your stuff.
I didn't. We went from fence to
but Gary,
images.
I'm asking, what kind is it? What kind of art is this?
It is abstract images. I have no other explanation for it.
Does it just come out of your head?
Yes, sir.
It looks like Indian art in a way.
Well, it's I sit down.
Picasso in a way.
I sit down, and in about an hour I knock one out.
You got a little Jackson Pollock.
Is it freehand?
You got a little.
Yes.
That's freehand.
Yes.
No, you use a ruler, obviously.
Well, I use a ruler if I need to have a super straight line, but all the interior lines and stuff like that is all done by freehand.
Is it oil or is it pen? Is it art?
It is. I'm a black and white guy. I started with just black and white.
Black and white what? Oil?
Markers.
Markers. What do you do now? What are these mainly?
I try to stick with black and white, but I have added color.
What are they, markers too?
Yep.
What is that called? Is it called markers? It's not called watercolor.
Doodling.
No, what is it called actually?
I think I call them markers.
Markers. Gary Corcoran Art. So it's GaryCorcoranArt.com. Corcoran is C-O-R-C-O-R-A-N. So it's Corcoran. GaryCorcoranArt.com. Hey, man, I just mentioned it because... How did you find out, Suzanne? Did he tell you?
I was just talking to him before the show. He mentioned it.
Cool. Let's go to Sue. Sue, or Soon. Is it Soon? Sown. I'm sorry, Sown.
Hi.
You have a problem with Graham Custom Cabinetry? Hello.
Yes, unfortunately.
What is the problem?
Well, he came over and gave me an estimate for some custom cabinets and shelving in my house.
Yes.
And it was pretty competitive. And then he asked for a deposit to get the materials.
Uh-huh.
And he did tell me that it was going to take a little while because he had some jobs ahead.
When did you do this? How long ago?
This was in about January, February of last year.
January or February of 17?
So, yes, of 18.
Of 18?
2018. Yes.
Okay, that's not last year. That's this year. Correct me if I'm wrong. You're talking about January 2018. I got you. Okay, so listen. How much did you put down?
So I gave him $3,000 for materials.
Did you get anything at all in return?
I got zero.
This guy's a thief then.
Yes, pretty much so. So, you know, I waited a couple months because he told me he was busy. And then I asked for an update. And he said, he kept putting me off. And then finally he said, well, I have something built. And I said, well, send me some pictures. No answer. And he's very bad about returning phone calls.
What's the name of his company?
So his name is John Francis Graham, And his company name is Graham Custom Cabinetry.
Okay. And
it was based in Littleton.
Wait, is he out of business?
Yes, so I don't think he has a storefront. I think the address is that
Is he out of business?
No, as far as I know, he still has an internet presence.
Okay, so what does he say about the $3,000 that he stole from you, and you should go after him because it's a crime?
Right. So nothing, actually. We took him to small claims. He never showed up.
So you have a judgment?
Yeah.
Go after the judgment. Does he own a home?
In our favor.
Then I would go after him with that judgment.
But the problem is he skipped town, or he's not traceable right now. He's either in the area or he skipped town.
Do you have a phone number for him?
I have the phone number that's on the internet for him, which of course he doesn't answer.
Okay, but give it to us.
Okay, hold on. Let me.
All right, hold on. We'll come right back with it.
Yeah.
I'm sorry to throw you for a loop about your art.
That was a trip. It's weird looking, man. It looks good. It's I mean, it's like Indian art, Oriental art, and other art mixed together. I bet he dropped a lot of acid.
I was going to ask you, is he smoking pot while he's drawing these?
A few mushrooms.
What does mushrooms do?
Magic mushrooms, man.
Did you hear him talking about his son?
What do you say?
I asked him if his son's going to go into business, and he's a 36-year-old guy, and he said, oh, he's a businessman.
Hey, at least he's straightforward, right?
So I was going to give him Dan's line.
Oh my God, they should have shot him into the sheets.
They're trying to forget that one, Bob. And you bring it up
I can't. It's stuck in my head forever. I'm just waiting for the opportunity.
He's waiting to use it. He's got it loaded.
And then I remember, oh yeah.
Drop it at a cocktail party.
I remember what you said.
And then every time it crossed my mind, I got to ask for forgiveness.
Yeah, so you said every morning I get up saying we're going to be good today. Then you tell me
injured or hurt in automobile accidents, he can help you assess who to go after and go after who he needs to go after, which could include your own insurance company if they are resisting. And of course, you can go after the perpetrator, their insurance company.
Is she living in the place yet?
That added to the accident. Here's the good news. You don't pay for.
They came around pretty good, man.
Wins. That's the important thing. This is how
we'll see.
303-597-4500. 303-597-4500. His website is full of information that is so useful. Personalinjuryco.com. John Fuller, Fuller Law.
You know, Tom was talking about how he loves the way that they do the mitigation and everything, but then it's the construction side. But that's been my biggest complaint. Because obviously a lot of people call us because they got floods in their home, right? And we go out and stop the flood, and then they want us to refer a company. But my complaint is that we refer them, and they go out and clean up the mess, and then the homeowner still doesn't have anybody to do the rebuild, you know? And so I've been looking for a good company that I can refer.
For what? For what? I missed it.
Like Servpro, that'll do the mitigation and then the reconstruction. You know.
I don't know about the reconstruction.
But that's, I'm just saying that's the challenge we run into, because we've referred companies for the mitigation, and then the client calls us back and says, now who do I get to do the reconstruction? And I'm like, well, I don't know, you know, I was trying to help you out.
You do mitigation?
No, we don't.
No,
I was just talking about what you were saying about these companies that do mitigation, they do a great job, but then they try to do the reconstruction, and they don't do a great job. But I'm always referring mitigation companies because people call us all the time for floods. But then they call us back. Then they call us back and say, okay, they did a great job on the mitigation. Who should I use for reconstruction?
You absolutely should have a mitigation company.
I'm thinking that's.
I mean, it's a natural adjunct. So is insulation.
Right.
Natural.
Yep.
I don't know. The margins on cleanup is incredible. You put a fan in there and it earns by the hour.
Oh, it's ridiculous. Oh yeah.
$50 an hour.
All night.
Right. Yeah. You plug it in. and you leave in $50.
Yeah, that fan's paid for in like 4 hours.
It's unbelievable what they.
But if I were you, Plumbline Services, it's done.
Yeah, that's one of the.
We have a contract now, Mark, and I have.
I don't have the contract. I saw that last email.
Okay.
There's no contract that
I have the contract I'm going to forward to you.
Send it
so
to
listen,
me.
this is good, Mark, because
I've already sent it over to them. I already sent them the info a second ago.
I mean, I'd really like to know.
I'm dying to know, man. I want to see the contract.
This doesn't sound like them at all.
Did you send it to me?
Just now. It's just a real quick image she took, but at least she's being communicated.
Maybe she did send it to me, too.
No, I didn't see you on it.
No, I didn't. But I got the one before it.
If Denver's talking about it, you'll hear it on 630
yeah. I'll let you know when I get it. Got it.
I'm Tom Martino, your troublemaker to some, troubleshooter to others. Buyandbuild.net for saving money. If you're looking for plumbing fixtures, lighting fixtures, sinks, tubs, you're looking for granite, you're looking for all countertop material, you're looking for cabinets, they are so incredibly cheap. No one can beat them in the regular retail world. No one, not even big boxes. Below wholesale, they buy giant containers, have them shipped from all over the world and all over the country, and they sell them at the big, ugly warehouse at 4800 Washington Street. Buyandbuild.net. I'm telling you, that's it. You want to save, you go there. So, this really bothers me here, that Sohn hired John Francis Graham. He took a $3,000 deposit for cabinets. She never saw him again. Hello, people. I know you think you've heard this a million times. You're right. Oh, my God. I don't know what's happening. This year, it's almost like I can do a show. Here it is. Hello, I'm Tom Martino. Welcome to the show. Here to help you solve problems, answer questions, take complaints. And today, we have John, Mary, Sue, Frank, Ellen. They've all put money down with a contractor, and they got nothing in return. It's becoming ridiculous. Did anyone answer that number, Suzanne?
No, I left him a message, and then also Sohn sent us a picture of the guy, so I sent it to you guys.
Please, you know what I'm going to do with it. Sleaze Brigade.
I think you made a little clip that might describe this situation.
You want to hear it? Okay, people. I know people get up. People, my board op, don't have a heart attack. Listen to this. This is what these guys are. Now, I already screened this. You no good mother, dirty, rotten son of a scum-sucking, no-class, ass-pimple, leeching, rip-off, punk, puking, crap-eating, chump, degenerate, hard, moronic, rude turd-eating, sleazebag, snake-in-the-grass vampire, wink and twit, trolling, toad-sucking, simpleton, dumbass, doofus, dirtbag. There you go. Wow. I should have warned you to.
That sums it up.
Put earmuffs on your children. But actually, technically, there was not one bad word exposed on the air.
Ass pimple.
Well, that was. Mike, you're giving us an on-air review. Go ahead.
Hello?
We love this. Go ahead. I love reviews. What do you have to say?
Am I on?
Yes, you are.
Okay, sorry. I just wanted to call and give kudos to Budget A1 Transmission.
Thank you. Why?
My son had taken his truck to another mechanic.
Yeah.
The guy ended up ripping him off.
Yeah.
So we went and got the truck back. We took it down to A1. They tore the transmission apart, invited us down to see the parts that the guy said he would put in that he didn't.
So they actually tore it down?
They tore it down and called us to come look at the parts.
Okay. Did they end up fixing it?
They did. And what was awesome is they gave my son 2 different prices.
All right. Hold on for more. Hold on.
Rates are going up.
You can hang on. If not, we understand.
While we don't expect a repeat, there may be challenges. Learn how to become mortgage safe. Does your current mortgage make your payment for?
How big is your artwork here and stuff that you got? If you want to put it up there?
They're 8.5 by 11.
He made loads of money.
But I have blown some of them up for like 20 by 20.
He's getting rich on it.
But the oh shit, I'm old.
Yeah. And every one is a single. Every one is a.
Everyone's an original. Yes.
Oh, they're not prints at all?
Well, I can print off of my little glossy that I have printed, but so far I've just sold one.
What's the other sleaze brigade we have? The Felicia, right? But we don't really have all the information on Ted. Do you have all the information on Felicia?
Felicia? No, I didn't get her number or anything.
But do you have the contractors' names and all that?
Yeah, that's that Ground Control Homes.
Is it one company?
It's one company.
Okay.
That's the name of the company, Ground Control Homes.
Ground Control Homes. Do you have Felicia's number by any chance? I want Dan to call and get sleaze brigade material and see if you can track down a photo. Since you seem to have some expertise there, I don't know.
Isn't that I think she just sent a photo. Is that a different one?
Another one.
No, that's another one.
Another clown?
You gotta keep up.
How many clowns are there?
Mark, you gotta keep up.
How many ass pimples?
They could be the same pimple.
What is Ground Control Homes? What does that mean?
I don't know.
Ground control the Major Tom. It's a monkey song.
I'm in contact with her. They were in a massive rush to get golfing. So she was going to give me all the info tomorrow.
She must be super rich. She all she wants them to do is like go to jail. It's like she's written off for $350,000.
That's how much? I missed all that.
Yeah.
Okay, Ground Control Home. So I don't know if I'll have anything today. She might answer. She was like,
tell them to play Ground Control to Major Tom.
David Bowie.
Was that David Bowie?
Yes, of course.
Control. No, it's the Monkees. Well, that's when Bowie was lead singer for the Monkees.
The year that he sold more than...
In fact, that was the same year that David Bowie not only was the lead singer for the Monkees, but they outsold the Beatles and the Rolling Stones.
Dan, there was one more you had a contract for. We had Soane, Felicia, and one more.
Lori with ATP.
ATP. Tom. And you have all that information for me, right? Lori with ATP. I'm taking all these down. Lori, ATP, and they did what?
He was the garage and stuff.
Dingling.
Right.
That's a British guy.
Dingling.
But all she wants is him to...
Is that a dingling, though? Right?
Yeah.
Ling.
Well, we're calling him Dingling.
If you want to use Dingling.
What's his first name?
Dingleberry.
Mike.
Dingleberry would be better.
And the ATP contractors, and he said he has a new contract.
Right.
Well, verbal. He said, I told her
Contract for a garage.
if she's moving her garage, it's going to be more.
35.
Geez, I know how that goes in first.
Well, that's what I figured.
Jesus, you try to relocate anything, man, forget about it.
We try to relocate our garage by 5 feet. It's going to cost an extra 20.
Yeah, maybe not, but man, if you start moving to a slope or anything, that shit can go easy.
Well, sure.
Hey, you heard me. To see.
I did not get Courtney scheduled this week for this auction.
I know where she lives.
You know how many dump trucks of dirt I'm bringing in now?
To announce it.
85.
But I don't want to run into a situation where you're going to see on the log today, because I won't know. Is it going to be fine regardless on that, or?
Why'd you do that? Why did you cut on the log?
Then we'll have to work them into content,
dig
correct?
Yeah, no matter
versus build up.
Okay.
I'll just take it out one at a time.
Drive into a tunnel.
Perfect.
Yeah, what?
I was going to make a tunnel. Douglas County wouldn't let me go in and make a tunnel. From the cul-de-sac.
85 dump trucks, huh?
Tell me that's not a lot of dirt, bro.
But dirt's cheap. It's
dirt.
It's dirt cheap. It's dirt cheap.
I coined that phrase. No, so it costs more to deliver the dirt.
No, it's the trucking that costs.
Than the dirt. Yeah, by far, almost double.
This is road-based, I hope you're taking, right?
Actually, I'm going to tell them to use a Toyota.
Do you have in
that way
your
I'll save
notes
money
any more nominees for sleeves? Because we're doing it right after the fucking show. The show.
Okay.
We're doing it.
Well,
We are doing
was this ATP? Do you want? Jim Reese has another update.
He's already on the sleep.
No, I know, but he's got to be the first triple that we got.
But hold on a second.
No.
What do you mean about ATP? You don't think that's bad enough for God's sake?
I don't think. Well, she just wants him to.
He upped the price, though. But if she legitimately moved the entire project,
Mark, she didn't move it in the middle. I mean, they had a contract for a garage. And then he says it went from 21 to 35 with no documentation whatsoever. None. She said he's a liar.
Hi, I'm Tom Martino, your troubleshooter, and this hour brought to you by Revitalized Health. You know, Hormone Bros. These guys do BioT, and they do age-defying treatments. They have the thread lift, microneedling to stimulate your own collagen. We are getting tremendous results from these guys. So many women especially are calling us saying, oh, thank you for recommending them. Of course, they do Juvederm and Botox and all of that, but the more permanent solution is stimulating your own collagen. And one thing I said yesterday was a little wrong, is that it's not permanent. It is actually permanent. The collagen that you regenerate stays. Here's the deal, though, okay? While that collagen stays, you still have a reduction of collagen because you're getting older. So it's much like when you have LASIK done on your eyes. Your eyes continue to grow old. So you still continue to grow old, but the collagen they put there doesn't go away. It's just that you reduce the amount of collagen you produce every year. So anyway, long story short, they have so many great procedures, including BioT for hormone replacement, and they optimization, actually, more than replacement. And they do BioT treatment for men and women. TheHormoneBros.com, out at 470 and Ken Carroll. That's TheHormoneBros.com. You will love these guys. Speaking of loving people, we are getting crazy reviews about people. Good reviews. I love it. Like Mike is calling in about Budget A1. We got another one calling in about Budget A1. I don't understand. So, Mike, your son was given a bill of goods, and you went to Budget A1 to verify, and they tore down the transmission. And did they find that the work was not done from the previous shop?
Correct.
So your son got ripped off. Did you get your money back?
He did. He has a court date, but serving the guy's, going to become troublesome.
What's the name of the shop?
Well, it was an individual.
Oh,
the problem. That lives in the country that supposedly works on cars. So
a shade tree mechanic, we call them. Okay, so Budget A1 then fixed the car, and you have nothing but good things to say.
Well, not only did they fix it, my son originally agreed the other mechanic was going to put a high-performance transmission in it. When we got down there, the guy said there's not any high-performance parts in here. And so here are your two options. You can put the factory transmission back in for this amount, or you can do a high-performance transmission for this amount. And of course, my son had already been ripped off, so he said, well, really all I can afford to do is the factory transmission. So they had it for a couple days. It was on, when they said it was going to be done, it was done. And they called my son to come get your truck. And they said, by the way, we're really sorry that happened to you. We hope you get your money back. But we went ahead and put the high-performance transmission in for you anyway, for the price of...
Oh, man, is that cool?
I hope they don't mind me saying that. But.
No, they're great people. Budget A, I'm telling you, man, Budget A1 Transmission and Auto Repair, good people. And in fact, we have another call on them. Cindy, these are coming out of the blue. That's why people need to use referrallist.com instead of all those other crazy lists. Cindy, what's going on?
Oh, it's actually Sonia, Tom. But
Sonia, what's going on?
I hope Scott's listening for Budget A1 Transmission. I also took my daughter's car in, and here's the thing, they were great. As a woman, it's always intimidating to go in by yourself, and it was my daughter and I. He treated us great, and we had a little bit of trouble with scheduling. He actually, not only did he remember 2 months later, but he gave us a discount. He made it good for us, and they're honest people, great. They talk to you like the family. Wonderful.
I'm getting so many. You're not the only one. We've gotten several off the air too.
Well, my God, with the deals they got going.
Yeah. So the one I got off the air from Pam, she said, Tom, I need to let you know about Budget and how they treated me and how they hunted down a problem and didn't charge me for all the extra time. And they call up and wonder, how are things going? And Cindy, or Sonia, she summed it up. They treated her like family. Welcome to the show. Plumbline Services is with us for plumbing, heating, cooling, electric, and drains. Bob, you know, this contractor thing, it's scary, isn't it?
It's unbelievable, Tom. Now, I can't believe how many people get ripped off.
Money for nothing. And chicks for free. Isn't that how the song goes?
It's, you know, you've been preaching. I've been listening to you for 25 years, and you've preached that forever. Not to put money down, and we don't collect anything down until we finish the job.
Or if you do put money down, protect yourself.
The credit card helps.
That's the only way I would do it. Or verifying things have been ordered in my name. I don't put money down just to get on a list. It's to start when the job starts, when work begins, or when materials are delivered.
I love Jay Brett's motto.
Yeah.
Don't pay a cent until you're content.
Yeah. But and I'm not saying everyone needs to do that. I just want to make that clear. You know, but you have to protect yourself. 303-713-TALK, 713-8255. We have open lines right now. Suzanne is racking some of them up. But we do have a question about fencing. Is it necessary, they said, when parts of the fence go into the ground to be pressure treated? What are they talking about? Okay, so let's turn that mic on.
It's not necessary in my opinion.
You don't? Okay, so you can put raw wood, depending on the type of wood, right? Or, first of all, what do you make fence out of? You don't use pine anyway, do you?
No, it's western wood cedar.
Any oak ever?
No.
Okay, so cedar. And cedar is pretty much weatherproof?
Pretty much for the Colorado climate, it's the best thing
I've
ever seen. Yeah.
You love it. For privacy, for split rail, for everything.
Correct.
How long does it, I mean, it just lasts forever, basically.
Well, it does, you know, if the concrete around the post is not installed properly and there's some drainage problems, that post might rot out in 10 years or 12 years or whatever.
Worst case.
But the fence part, rails and pickets should last for decades.
Okay. 303-713-TALK. Now, Bob Logan, you're saying a free furnace right now with the purchase of an air conditioner.
Yeah. Now, this is this for Tom Martino listeners. If you need a new furnace and air conditioning system, you pay the installation, but we will give you a free furnace with the purchase of an air conditioner.
And you'll show line by line what they're paying for and where that furnace is free.
Right, exactly. And it's a value up to $2,137.
Okay.
And
in other words, that's what the furnace is costing, and you'll take it off the bill.
That's correct.
And they'll pay for the installation.
Yes,
I want to ask
you
you a
will
question.
see that.
The differential I suggest is 5 years, meaning if you have an air conditioner that's 5 years or newer, you don't have to replace it with a furnace when you do the furnace. If it's older than 5 years, I would replace both. That's the way because I think the differential, but some people say no. If you have an air conditioner that's 10 years old, why replace it when you're putting in a furnace?
A lot of it depends on the maintenance, and for most people, they don't maintain the furnace and air conditioning systems. You know, we're used to taking a car in for oil changes and tune-ups and things like that. People don't think about that for a furnace and air conditioning system.
How often do they really then have to be done? How often do they have to be done? I mean, excuse me.
Well, a lot of people don't even...
Not how often. I mean, the air conditioner and furnace, how often do you need to do both, really?
As far as replacement?
Yeah, like...
You know, if you're maintaining them 15 to 20 years...
So if you have a 10-year-old air conditioner and you need a furnace and you have a 10-year-old air conditioner...
I would replace them both.
You would?
At that point, yes. Yeah, and again, part of it has to do with efficiencies and everything else. There's a lot of things to take into consideration, but every home, every family, every budget's a little bit different. So when we come out, we'll give you options from a pretty basic system, whether it's just a furnace or air conditioner or the system, to a luxury, high-efficiency model, and a couple in between. And then you can decide what's best for you. And we also we take credit cards, we do financing, we do whatever we can to make it easy for you.
If they sign up on your Comfort Assurance plan, do they get that free tune-up each year? Do you come out and maintain that?
We do.
Is that part of it?
We do, Mark, and that's one of the best deals for a consumer I can think of. So for $99, We'll come out, we'll do annual inspection. You get up to 15% discount on our services, 5% discount on installations.
Priority.
You get priority service during our busy times.
On new furnaces.
We waive service fees.
Since it's winter right now, Bob, are people buying 80% or are people spending the money to get the rebates on these 96%
Well, first of all, they're not even that much more expensive, are they?
Again, it depends. Every home's unique, but we do about 50-50, 80%. Now, most of the 80%ers we do nowadays, they're called variable speed or two-stage, and so you get some higher efficiencies than you would with
even
the
if
older
it's 80%. By the way, we do have lines open, so people who say, oh, I can never get through, you can get through right now. Sometimes this happens, we don't know why, where there's a few minutes where we get a lull. So it's 303-713-TALK, 713-8255. And somebody wants to know, with fences, can they get per square pricing? Or is it one of those things where, well, it depends on fencing? Can you do per square foot? Like, if I say I want a privacy fence 6 feet high, how much per foot? And I can compare it or not. Can you do that?
If someone calls in and we talk to them, we ask them how many feet they've got.
Right.
And the more linear feet you have,
the
less expensive it is.
What's the price break usually? How many feet?
If you get about 150 feet, we can probably do it between $30 and $32 a foot.
Okay.
That's with premium materials.
Installed.
And
that's
tear out the old and dump the old fence too.
And that's tearing out the old too.
Correct. And that's dump charges included. If you go up to 300 feet, it could go down, under $30.
Okay.
So it just all depends.
And is that for cedar?
That's for cedar.
Premium. What is premium cedar?
Premium just means that it's
it hand select?
Top of the line materials. It's not this. It's not the stuff you can buy at Lowe's or Home Depot. We do not put that in.
And it's not full with knots or anything like that.
Correct. It's beautiful. It's beautiful boards.
What about redwood? Do people do redwood?
The only company I know who kind of concentrates on that is Elcar Fence. And
what kind of redwood? Privacy redwood or rail?
Well, it's made for pickets. They make pickets out of them. We don't do that.
What is your opinion on heart redwood or redwood?
They're great. I wouldn't want to pay the extra money. Redwood for me is for decks, which is another thing that we can make available to our clients as well.
Now, do you guys actually do the decks, or do you farm that out?
No, we do it. My guys do it. I don't do it.
No. So you guys do fence and
decks.
I'm
old, Tom. You haven't noticed. I know I look young.
Do you do fence and decks? Do you on your fences? Do you screw or nail?
We use steel galvanized ring shank nails.
And do they ever come out?
No.
Okay.
And they don't bleed as well. Those are the black lines that you see going down
I see them all the time.
I hate it, but that's a lot of people use screws, and after the drill's kind of bouncing on the top,
right.
It takes the coating off of the top, and so when it rains and snows, that's what causes the bleeding.
Terry, you want to give kudos. I love these on-air reviews we're getting. What's going on, Terry?
I want to give kudos to Integra Insurance.
You used them, and was it true what I said? They make it smart and simple?
Yes, they do. I actually got the phone number from you, went home, told my husband about it because he's on disability.
Yeah.
And he called and had to leave a message.
Yeah.
They called back, and he had an appointment already to discuss open enrollment.
Yes.
And they told him, this is what you need to look for. We will call you back the day after your appointment. And they did, and to follow up with him, they are excellent. I wished I would have known 2 years ago when he went on disability.
Yeah, they can help you with all kinds of stuff. Even on disability, they can help you maximize your benefits. Listen, every person we advertise here, there's a benefit to using. What were you
I have got to tell you a Carfax story.
Okay, we're going to do that coming right back. A Carfax story? Is it an unbelievable Carfax story?
I swear to God, I cannot believe the email I just got. I tried to correct our Carfax on Suzanne's car, and somehow I made it worse.
He tried to make it better, and he made it worse.
It's unbelievable.
Because Carfax sometimes gets it wrong. Now, we have open lines, 303-713-TALK, 713-8255. Frank Duran, therealestateman.com. You will never find better. you want to hear kudos. If I let them on the air, I'd get them every day throughout the show because they called to tell us how much they love him. And they say, Tom, when you say you think you're his only customer, you really mean it. He'll call you all the time to give you updates, to let you know what's going on. You feel like part of a family. Frank Duran, therealestateman.com, 303-920-1622. You will use him when you're trying to sell a home or you're looking to buy one.
This report is sponsored by Lowe's.
Do you have anything left on yours?
I can't believe it.
Century and Cam.
I didn't know you could go in there and change it.
They listed it severe damage, and I'm like, okay, well, it was a bad accident. They didn't total the car. They fixed it. You know, it was fixed at one of the best body shops around. So I sent them the body shop report to try to get rid of the severe damage. They said, well, we can't get rid of that because that's how Castle Rock Police reported it on the police. That's where they got severe damage. And, by the way, the report you sent us showed there was some structural damage, so we're going to have to add that to the car.
Shop Lowe's Black Friday deals continue to get 40% off.
So you can trade it in now?
No, I don't know what I'm going to do.
Okay, guys.
Offer valid through 11/29. While supplies last.
Did I tell you I sold mine for $19,600?
Did you know that most people buy RVs in the winter and they use them as their escape vehicle for Arizona and parts south? You know, RVs, of course, can be used year-round if you buy the year-round ones. You can buy them for seasonal use, whatever you want. Century RV has them. What I really love about Century RV, their pricing. You think you can get a better deal on the internet? Go ahead and shop. Who cares? Then go to Century RV. You'd be silly not to shop when it comes to something this serious, and shop right in your backyard, out in Lakewood, just north of 6th Avenue, between Kipling and Sims, next to Woodley's, or up north on I-25 and the 119 turnoff. That's CenturyRV.com. 303-453-1111. That's CenturyRV.com.
It's the new Capless and Kafer Show. Afternoons 4 to 7.
We're keeping an eye on the continuing caravan crisis at the southern border and the very latest on the Mueller investigation.
Hey,
Manafort in hot water.
videos. I want to talk to you about videos.
Okay, to me that sounds outrageous. Hold on.
Preposterous?
No, we can talk later. We talked about it before, but I want to do the video with this guy. No, I want you to. I'll do it. I love you.
All right, 303-713-8255. Man, we've got a lot cooking today. In fact, what was the mic that was on? Yeah, we're on right now, Mr. Martino.
Do you want to tell the Carfax problem?
I walked out. I'm sorry.
I couldn't understand what you were doing.
303-713-TALK. We have open lines. 303-713-8255. You can get right through. As I said, for some reason, we have a lull. That happens once in a while. I do have some emails I'm going to go through. Mark, so you want to tell a Carfax story. What's going on?
Ridiculous. So Suzanne got into an accident, I don't know, a couple of years ago.
I remember. It was a minor accident.
No, it was pretty bad.
Oh.
She wasn't hurt in this one, but it was bad on the car. It was about 10 grand in damage.
Okay, I remember that. Yeah.
10 grand in damage on her Santa Fe. At the time, it was worth probably $25,000-$30,000. So, of course, they don't total it. We bring it to one of the best body shops around. They fix it up, about 10, 11 grand. We go to sell it recently on Blinker. I go to list it on Blinker. You take a picture of the license plate. Dan just sold his Santa Fe on Blinker, got top dollar. They refused to take it. I go, why? They said the Carfax on it. Remember,
did it show a salvage?
No, not salvage at all. It showed severe damage. The Castle Rock police wrote up severe damage. So I'm like, okay, fine. It had severe damage, but it was fixed perfectly. So I go down to the body shop. I get the thing from 2 years ago. I send it off to Carfax and said, listen, I realize they reported severe damage, but it was repaired 100%. It's like brand new. Please remove the severe damage.
Well, it was damaged.
That's true. So I sent them the body shop.
But isn't that all they're saying? It was damaged.
They're saying it was severely damaged.
Sell it if it's severe damage on Carfax.
Yeah, Blinker won't because they finance.
But I'm asking this.
Yes, it was severely. Well, I don't know. If it's a $200,000 car and there's $10,000 worth of damage, I don't know. It's up to the cop that writes it.
Here's what I mean. This car, at the time of the accident, was worth what?
About 30 grand.
And you had 10,000 in
damages.
Okay. The actual physical body Was it severe?
Yeah,
what did it look like?
The right front, I think it was, or the left front was...
So they're kind of accurate.
That's fine. Yes, they're accurate. And I sent them from the body shop exactly what we did, proving it's perfect now.
Yeah, but no one is saying you didn't fix it, Mark. They're not saying it's damaged.
No, but the body shop never reports it. They have no... If someone looked at that Carfax, they have no idea if we ever repaired it or not.
Oh, I get what you're saying. But no Carfax says repaired. It doesn't.
Unless you have the body shop uploaded.
Mark, hold on now. I have seen Carfax after Carfax, and it'll say accident, severe damage.
Mm-hmm.
But it never says repaired.
No, it doesn't say that, but it'll show if the body shop actually uploads to Carfax.
What will it show?
Most of them don't. It'll say exactly what was in for. Fender, headlight, whatever it was in for.
Really?
Yeah, of course, control arm. In my shops, when I had the shops, it did the same thing. If I did an alternator, it would report it.
Are you saying that it is giving the impression it's still damaged?
I'm saying it looks like crap on a Carfax when you're trying to sell a car that says severe damage. I don't care.
But
that's what it says.
But what do you... Okay. But it was severely damaged.
Yes, that's fine. It was severely damaged. I concede.
So
it was damaged.
But you're saying...
I wanted them to take it off so I can sell the damn car.
Okay.
That's what I'm trying to say.
I think we should try to sell it here for a good
just
deal.
hold on. So I send them the body shop report proving it was fixed perfectly.
Right.
I wanted them to basically say it was fixed.
Okay, well, right, because
you guess what they come back and tell me?
Hold on, I see what you're saying, because I looked at one time, and it said when people put tires on or a windshield or something.
Of course.
It does show repairs.
Yes.
So you asked them to at least...
I said, here's the receipt showing I paid $10,000 to have this fixed.
Right, and what happened?
They said, well, we can't remove severe damage unless you have the cop write up a new report, which you know is never going to happen.
No, because it was damaged.
And by the way, after looking at the repair you sent us, there could have been structural damage, so we're going to have to note that on the damn Carfax now, you...
So now So now the Carfax
I can't believe it. I caused more damage by trying to fix it.
So your car is a piece of crap, they're saying.
Apparently, according to Carfax, even though it was fixed 100%.
What I want to know is this.
Now it's no good.
Can you sell it for will you...
Not on Blinker, and I wanted to use Blinker. I can sell it anywhere.
No, but don't you plan on telling people it was in an accident anyway? You're not going to hide that. Mark, seriously.
It was fixed perfectly. Yes, if I told him it was an accident, yes, but it was fixed perfectly.
Of course.
That's what kills me about Carfax now that I think about it. Think about if it wasn't Suzanne's fault, which this one was, I'd go after diminished value. There is not one thing in this state now, because of Carfax, if someone else hits you, I don't care what year it is, there's diminished value. You can't even sell it on Blinker if it says severe. If you hit me, you owe me money. Don't you think that's true now with Carfax?
Of course I do. Because they take away value.
It's just outrageous. But I hate when I try to fix something.
But you know what? I got to tell you that Carfax did something that no other place has ever been able to do, and that's consolidate information on vehicles.
They did it wonderfully. I agree.
It's a wonderful service. It's a wonderful service.
I think if you prove, though, the vehicle is back up to the original manufacturer's specs from a good body shop, they should note that, though. They really should.
I understand, but that's up to you to do when you sell it. But
how about like on your aircrafts? Do they report, is there a Carfax for aircrafts? I'm curious.
No, there's a logbook. Everything is in the logbook. It has to be by law.
So if you ever landed, say, wheels down or belly up, not
or
wheels
any
down,
damage,
it's on there.
It must be entered in the logbook. Absolutely.
So when you go buy an aircraft, you
look at the logs.
You look through the logs.
But there is no plain facts that I know of. But it's so, I don't know of anyone that would ever have something broken on a plane, get it fixed, and not enter it, because the guy you have fix it is a licensed mechanic, and you'd have to get his signature, and in other words, he won't do a repair and not enter it. He's going to say, if I do the repair, I'm going to show a full record of it in your logbook, because if you do it without it, now you're breaking federal law.
Well, think about that. That makes perfect sense to me, because something's broke, you fix it, it's in the log. With Carfax, something's broke. There is no ending to the story.
But why don't they add the repairs? Are they going to add them?
No, they're going to add more negative crap.
But if your body shop uploads what was done? Why won't they include
Most body shops don't because they don't want to be the bad guy. Why would you use a body shop that's going to say, hey, there was all this damage to a car? I asked that same question.
Then do they get reports from Castle Rock, is that, or from police?
Yeah, they said the report that said severe damage was literally from the accident
But here's what I'm asking. Do police all over send to Carfax?
Yes.
Do they upload to Carfax?
Yes.
What do they get
They
for
must
doing
pull
that?
an accident report.
I'm just wondering what the incentive is. Nancy, what's going on with you? Nancy?
Hi, Tom.
Hi, what's happening?
Well, I had talked to you quite a while ago, maybe over a year ago, about this terrible kind of dizziness I have. And you...
I remember this.
Yeah, you had had Suzanne talk to me out there, and she was going to send some information to an email for me. But the problem is I can't even get on my email. I can't be on a computer, and I haven't had my computer working since this happened to me.
Nancy, how long have you been dizzy?
It's been 4.5 years.
Have you, what happened before it? How did this come on?
Well, first of all, I have dystonia.
Okay.
And you asked me how I was doing with that, and at the time I was doing okay because my neurologist was helping me with my Botox.
And dystonia, for those listening, the best way I can describe it is certain muscles in certain areas of your body constrict, and they tighten up and they don't let loose. They don't relax. So you could walk with a crink in your neck or your arm up like it's in a sling, or...
Is it neurological or is it actual muscle?
It's muscular, but triggered by nerves. The actual muscles have no damage. The actual muscles are contracted.
So your brain's saying, hey, contract.
That's right. That's right. Very tightly. And it causes pain and discomfort. Isn't that right, Nancy?
That's right.
Now, and Botox has been a successful therapy because what does it do? It paralyzes and relaxes the muscle. So, Nancy, do you have dystonia in your face, in your neck, in your back, in your leg? Where is it?
It's in my neck. My head tips over and it twists and it spins down.
And and even though you try to relax or fight it, you can't, right? It's just it's involuntary. Now, does yours stay in one position or does it twitch?
My head will tremor when my Botox doesn't work. My head will shake.
Okay. Nancy, well, that's obviously where your dizziness is coming from, no?
Well, I saw experts at the Mayo Clinic when I got the dizziness. They knew I had dystonia. I had seen them before.
And what did they say?
They say that I have the dizziness, which is very visual. I can't read, watch TV, or be on a computer.
Oh, my goodness.
They say I have it, the dizziness. They tested me, but they don't know why, and they know part of it's from my neck, but they don't know what the rest is. And on top of that, I had talked to you years ago. I was the girl that had all the jaw surgeries that went wrong. So my jaw plays into it, my neck plays into it.
Nancy, how old are you?
I'm 61, but when I got the dystonia was 10 years ago. When I got the dizziness, I was 56.
The dizziness came on several years ago. Did it come out of the blue all in one day?
What happened was I was on a treadmill for a stress test at the hospital, and for some reason, after I did that, I thought it did something to my neck. But like within 2 days, I had the dizziness.
Did you ever try any treatment at all of any kind?
I've been in physical therapy for 4.5 years, and I've had times where I've gotten better. Pretty much the physical therapy is, and I get the Botox, but like I said, my neurologist moved away.
Does Botox make it better?
It does help it some, but it hasn't ended up helping. The visual part has actually made me where I am nauseated about 80% of the day now.
Do you take Dramamine?
I take, it's meclizine or an older drug, daily to try and help.
I remember this call. I told her electroshock, man.
Do you take,
everything I read says that.
Do you take like Zofran?
I do take Zofran.
Listen, Mark, she's not talking about this dystonia. She's learned to live with that, although shock, what you're talking about is for dystonia, not for the dizziness.
Correct.
We have to figure out, help her figure out through medical experts, is the dystonia causing the dizziness?
Or vice versa.
Or is this dizziness just something else? It seems too coincidental. It's got to be linked in some way to pinched nerves. And for that, I would go a totally different route. Hold on, we do have a comment here from Susan. Susan, what did you want to comment?
Actually, my mom was dizzy for a whole year. She literally sat on the couch for a year, and her doctor said, drink more water, drink more water. Well, that didn't work. She changed doctors, and come to find out she was anemic, and nobody had ever tested her for that. She started taking iron every day, and within a week, she was 100% better.
I'm gonna help. I have some ideas, and you know what? You brought up a very good point, Susan, about anemia. Not so much about specifically anemia, but something else I want to talk about. 303-713-TALK. Hold on, Nancy, I'm not done. 303-713-8255. One Clear Choice Garage Doors. Simply the best. Look, we have good people on our referral list, then we have the best people on our referral list. You know, you should shop around. But One Clear Choice Doors, this is what they're going to do. They're going to keep that garage door running perfectly, and they'll be your company. They'll put the sticker on there. You can start out with a free Martino inspection. They'll tighten the hinge bolts, check the cables. They'll adjust the stops, and then give you a full written report. It's a very special Martino special, and of course they want to be your company. Or if you have a problem, call them. And you can call them for emergency service with a broken spring or something. 303-565-6409. You won't find a better company when it comes to your garage doors. That's why we say OneClearChoiceDoors.com.
This is Denver's Talk Station, 630 KHOW.
I feel bad for that one. I got
Fox Business Network on Wall Street stocks are back. Small gains and losses
Right. And you talked to Mark about that. About these advertisements that, live.
Oh yeah, like Plumline's what we call an endorsement. So we'll do live commercials for them, and they book either through their agency, I don't know who you go through, or directly through someone here in this building for the time. So you basically pay us what we refer to as a talent fee, and then you pay iHeart or whatever radio station you're dealing with, in this case, KHOW, for the airtime. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
But with the endorsement, we do a lot more. Like with Bob's company, Tom will go out and he'll talk to the people going into the house, the salespeople, the people that answer the phone. He'll go out and talk customer service, monthly, bi-monthly, whenever it is.
But, he'll do it as often as you want.
As you want.
It comes out about every couple months or 3 months.
Yeah, so the size company you have, I don't think you would need that, but that's available as well. You're not, what you do is outside. What he does, a lot of his guys are inside, so you're dealing with customers inside their own house, which is a challenge within itself because you're in their domain, where you're kind of outside, and I mean that in a very literal way. So the customer service aspect and the selling's a little different. Well, we help with the selling aspect, all that kinds of stuff.
So what's the average, 1 minute shot or slot or whatever they call it?
Anywhere from roughly, depending on time of year, 1 minute live, 160 to 300. So.
I listen to Plumline all the time when I'm driving around.
Yeah, they run a very well.
Drive all over.
Yeah, I was going to say, not just out here. Plumline advertises everywhere. If you watch 9 News, you guys
guy's not going to
know
go away. But what about this for a faucet? And he supplied the faucet. What about it? What is that? Does that strike you as your book price?
Sounds reasonable.
Okay, that's your book price for that?
I could look it up. If he wants to provide his name and information when I get back to the office, I'll have my
Bob will be happy to talk to him off the air. Did you get his number?
While we don't expect a repeat, there may be challenges. Learn how to become
So that would be that's the labor price you think you have listed for that job? I mean, there's no reason why the guy would go above the book, right, or below. It just sounds expensive to me, but I don't know. I don't know. I don't know what people are doing.
How long does it take?
Hour and a half to 2.
And you got to show up, so you're driving there, you're 2 hours and drive back. It didn't sound outrageous to me.
Well, when he supplies the faucet, it did to me. I wouldn't want to pay it. I wouldn't. I mean, I'm just being honest.
I wouldn't pay it.
I mean, I would think, I don't know, but then again, I don't know. I mean, I'm so out of touch with that.
I am very much too, actually, now that you say that. Generally, anytime I've done that, it's along with a new granite kitchen, and it's just a little one line item.
Like you say, you can always get a guy in a pickup truck.
They must have
station wagon.
Right. Yeah, a handyman or something like that. Really, that job for $150.
$100 an hour.
Yeah, but I had a handyman. I tell you what, I had a handyman do a garage disposal once.
We can't even come close to $100 an hour. We'd be out of business.
You mean for labor at the house?
Made me look years younger. Talk to Dr. Broadway for your absolutely free consultation to see if you're a candidate for Neograft.
I've learned that handyman.
All the other costs.
Yeah, well, keep in mind, so
and you're also paying for the hours people don't work.
My average technician works 50 hours a week. He bills out between 14 and 16 hours a week. So I'm paying him for 50, and he's billing clients 14 to 16 hours a week because of drive time and everything else. If they just take more time, estimates that they decide we're going to wait and not do the job. So that's why it's so expensive. I can't just, I can't say, okay,
you can't say,
I pay him $40 an hour, and I want this much profit. And if they're 100% efficient, so it's the problem is most people look at it like new construction. New construction, they're 100% efficient.
You're supposed to check all that.
Yeah, there's nothing.
So you
sign the contract.
7 o'clock.
Hi, Tom Martino here.
3:30.
Wink and wink are bankruptcy attorneys. I'm going to give you a warning. Don't go spending crazy on Christmas and then decide to go bankrupt. First of all, if you do that on purpose, it's immoral. It's wrong to engineer bankruptcies. And the trustee can look back several months, they can look back 2 years actually, on unusual, and by federal, let's see, federal's 4 years, state's 2 years or something. So they can look back and say, look, this is wrong. Wink and wink. If you have a problem, talk to them now. They may say, hey, look, just do normal spending. Don't do anything crazy. Stuff you can keep up with. And then, take a look at your finances after the first. Or they may say you need to file now. Winkandwink.com, 303-410-1720. And it can stop a foreclosure dead in its tracks if you do a Chapter 13. They do 13s and 7s. And again, this is a drastic measure that I hope you never need. And if you do, it can help. In many cases. Winkandwink.com. All right. Nancy is dizzy. Now, there are many reasons for dizziness. The obvious would be, her health condition. What is it? Her health condition, she has dystonia. But I just wanted to ask a question or two here, Nancy, and I'm not a doctor. I'm not going to try to cure you, but I do have directions for you to go. Nancy, in your dizziness, if you had to pick one, is it a false sense of motion or spinning? Or is it more of a lightheadedness? Or is it unbalance, unsteadiness? Or is it a feeling of floating? If you had to pick one of those. Either a false sense of motion, like things are spinning, or you're just lightheaded and kind of woozy, or you can't keep your balance, or you feel like you're floating.
It's more of things are moving, but inside my head. If that, I don't know. If
well, is it like a sense of spinning?
It can be, but it's more like
lightheadedness.
No, it's not lightheadedness. It's like the things that are moving make me feel like I'm moving.
Ah, can you walk a straight line?
I can, but it's not. It's hard.
So you don't drive, obviously, right?
Yeah, that's the weird thing, is that you can drive, but you can't ride with someone.
You can drive?
Yes. And it's not. It's
when do you notice it? When do you notice it most?
When I'm watching, if it's anything visual, like if I want to glance at the TV, or if I try to look even at this phone, it will make me sick.
Almost sounds like
Wait,
vertigo.
If you look at something still or something moving?
Something that's moving or something that has letters. Or I have to even practice walking, like in a store. They have you practice walking in a store.
Can you ride a bicycle? Can you ride a bicycle?
I haven't even tried.
But you can drive a car. You literally drive a car.
Yes, you can drive a car. You have to.
I'm not talking about you. I'm talking about you individually. I can drive a car. You're saying I can drive a car. Do you, when you stop at a red light, do things start moving?
Things don't start moving, but it gives me a bad feeling inside my head, like this terrible, like my head wants to just kind of move a little bit inside my head. It's very hard to describe to people.
What did the clinic say, that research clinic? Did you say you went to Johns Hopkins?
I went to the Mayo Clinic.
Oh, Mayo.
They said it's called vestibular migraine, and it's called chronic subjective dizziness.
Tom, I had somebody text me who listens, says it might be Meniere's disease. Have you ever heard of that?
Yeah, she's not describing anything close to Meniere's, not even close. Not really. Nancy, do you...
yes.
That's interesting. Did they say what possibly caused it?
No, they didn't. They didn't know. They do feel part of it. The expert there said is because of my dystonia. I walk so robotically. I don't move my head back and forth like most people do. That everything visually is coming into my eyes, where other people move their head around.
Right.
So your eyes are getting everything that you're seeing.
Right.
And that's part of your balance system is your eyes, your ears, and your muscles. And I don't use the muscles in my neck like other people.
Yeah, that's right. That's why they, That's why they called it subjective. Okay, so listen, when was the last time...
Oh, I'm sorry, go ahead.
When was the last time you had a blood workup?
Pretty recently.
Do you have, like a panel of 25 or more? Indicators.
I don't know if it was that much.
Well, what did you have tested then? Usually 25 is the minimum. They call it SMAC 25. What did you have?
Oh, that's probably because I was in the ER giving a pain shot because I get a lot of headaches.
Can you do me a favor? Can you, I have a researcher I want to run something by. Can you send, can you email us the latest copy of your blood work?
I can have a friend do it for me.
Yes. Yeah, you can't get on a computer, right?
Right.
Okay. Just send us the latest copy. 303-713-TALK. We have... I see Larry did not hang on. And the caller that had a question for our fence guy, did you get the question?
Yes.
Okay.
Do you want to know now?
No, we'll do that in a minute here.
Okay.
That's good. We have a question. GoCamSolar.com/troubleshooter. If you go to that website, you'll see a form that you can fill out, and it'll give you a projection of what your lot and roof line and solar radiation combined will produce in electricity over the next 20 years. This is a company run by, I call, eggheads. They're engineers. They're not fancy salespeople, and they're not do-gooders. They of course, they want to help the planet, but they are engineers, and they love the challenge of saving you money and thwarting the utility companies. So as soon as you get one of their systems, when they calculate it, it'll supply all of your electricity, or they'll tell you. So that's why you do this form first. And if they produce all of your electricity, you simply start paying for the solar system instead of electricity, and you're going to pay less. And what's great about it is there's no down payment because of the tax credits. GoCamSolar.com/troubleshooter to get that form to see what a solar system can do for you.
This report is sponsored by...
Centennial Schultz, they got a, right here in Lone Tree, they got a, on Thursday, they have a seminar. I don't know why they're not pushing, or maybe they're full.
They never even mentioned it.
I know, they got, like say, if I look up their website, they got one on November 29th, one on December 5th, one on December 6th, and then the one in Denver on December 11th. That's on their, that's free educational seminars. So yeah, next one in Lone Tree is November 29th, Thursday. And then there's one December 5th in Lone Tree.
Yeah, the SpongeBob SquarePants guy's dead. What? Died at 57.
What guy? What guy?
Oh, man.
The creator.
Did he drown?
Stefan Hillenberg. Did he drown?
He's done way more than that.
He was battling ALS. That one sucked.
Wow, that young? Holy cow.
When the deadline clock is ticking,
God, that's young for that.
How old?
57?
That's why you need Comcast
You'd be
Business.
surprised.
Our
Really?
network
He started Listen to this, I didn't know
Don't
this.
take care of themselves.
He started his life out teaching marine biology. Son of a bitch, and then he created SpongeBob. I love it.
Because he found a sponge down there.
That's awesome.
Named Bob.
Well, no, it's based on a true story. There really is people that live down there.
You know what I love?
Krusty the
Yeah,
Krab.
pineapple under the sea.
Pineapple.
I want to know how the freaking squirrel ended up down there.
There's no squirrel.
Yeah.
A squirrel?
Sandy.
But she's got a helmet on.
Of course she does.
That's right.
Well,
It's not a helmet, it's a breathing
it's a breathing
apparatus.
apparatus.
Sandy lives under the sea, and I don't know why.
Did you ever see the one where they come up to the top and they go into real life, not the cartoon? That's crazy.
Never. I've never seen that one.
Yeah, it's one of their, one of the normal ones. They pop up and...
My favorite character is I'm a starfish.
Mine's Krusty the Krab.
What's his name?
Oh, what is it?
Patrick.
Patrick.
Man, you know this.
There's not one of our kids that didn't love that show.
Squiggly. Is it Squiggly or Squidward?
Squidward.
When mine were real little, it was Bob the Builder and Thomas the Tank Engine. How the hell George Carlin got that gig is still beyond me.
What does he do?
He's the main guy that talks. Anything with Thomas the Tank Engine. They're loading up today. He's like all of them.
Is that right?
Yeah, you didn't know that was a huge gig for him.
Wow.
No, I did not know that.
Yeah.
So I just shot you guys a page right out of our price book for that customer supply.
JJ the jet plane. Another plane.
Hi, Tom Martino, your troubleshooter, 303-713-TALK, 713-8255, GenesisTotalExteriors.com. If you're looking for a contractor that won't rip you up, I said we're at war with lying, sleazing, scumbag contractors. Not with Genesis. Genesis, good people. Mark Szymanski, good people. Genesis, roof, gutter, siding, windows, doors, decks, bathrooms, basements, kitchens. They do it all. GenesisTotalExteriors.com. They should say, as I said, Genesis Total Exteriors and Interiors, but they don't. GenesisTotalExteriors.com. Look them up. So listen, we have such a fun time solving problems, but lately it's been really pissing me off because we are so concentrated on contractors. If you had to sum up the year, wouldn't you say that contractors have dominated the complaint department, Deputy Dan and Mark? And then, next to contractor, stem cell. What would you say is number 3 looking into our data bank? Now, I know for sure contractors is number 1. Stem cells, number 2. What would you say?
Stem cells blew up quick, man. Those guys came on like herpes.
Yeah. The reason for stem cells is because everyone's looking to get out of pain, and this promised...
Oh, they thrive on these guys.
They promised a panacea. They promised, just a dream, your dream come true.
Do you remember the charlatan we had in that said he could spend like 2 minutes with anybody and fix them?
And he wasn't a charlatan because
what do you mean?
he wasn't charging a dime.
Well, okay, but those are a hell of a claim.
He just honestly believed he could help people.
Which makes him even more of a nut.
I think he was sincere. Suzanne, do you think that guy was sincere?
Well, he was sincere, for sure, but...
kind of nutty.
Charles Manson was sincere.
No, he was nutty, but
Tom,
he was, yes.
This guy who couldn't hold, he wanted to ask Gary, when you have a shared fence with a neighbor, how can you tell if it's on their property or yours or who the fence belongs to technically?
Yeah, you must get into these issues all the time, and that's really not up your alley, right? It's up for them to figure it out. What do you do?
Well, it is, but normally, unless the sidewalk has been replaced, you've got a pin or an X out in the sidewalk. That was done exactly right when
backyards too?
Well, sometimes they leave the pin that you can see, but most of the time it's covered with dirt and rocks and stuff. But when we put a fence in, it's on somebody's property, so somebody owns it.
And you have to abide by the city's setback.
Correct.
They're not all. How many have 0 lot lines where they let you put it right on the lot line?
Very few.
Very few. Yeah. Most of them want to set back into your property to avoid any disputes.
Correct.
Well, if you're in Highlands Rancho and there's nothing between your neighbors, what do you end up doing? You don't put it...
No.
Whose side do you go to?
You go... If you're buying your fence...
No, I'm saying you're splitting it with your neighbor.
Well, I don't know about that, Mark, but I know if I'm going to buy a fence, I don't have a choice. The permit says you're 5 feet in. And if the... So what... I don't know, actually. If the two neighbors agree, I think they would still make you do a setback because they don't want future disputes. I don't know. Have you run across that where neighbors wanted to chip in on a fence?
Yes, all the time.
Okay, then what do you do as far as the setback?
Well, you don't have to worry about it unless you're on the corner. There's no setbacks. If you're just splitting and sharing a fence, and
then you can go right on the lot line.
And it's already there. You can go pretty darn close to the...
Not already there. There's no fence. You got 2 lots, and you have a 5-foot setback.
Like new homes.
And you have a 5-foot setback by code. But both neighbors, front and back, or side by side, they want to do a fence.
Correct.
What do you do?
You'll be able to see the pin or the X.
And you go right on it?
And we run a string line, and we just keep it to one side or the other, so one person actually owns that.
See, I told you, they won't go on the line. If the code says a 5-foot setback, it's going to be a 5-foot setback.
I guess I'd probably rather have it on the neighbor's end than you pick up the extra space.
I know.
They lose 4 to 6 inches, and whoever's
4 to 6 inches?
Yeah.
I thought some of the setbacks, maybe I'm wrong.
You're thinking out where I live and where you used to live.
Are setbacks 4 and 5 feet or less?
No, they're not. If you're sharing a fence, are you talking about the setback from the street to the yard?
Neighbor to neighbor.
Look, you're in the biz, but in most subdivisions I've done 14 subdivisions, and every subdivision I've seen, if you want to put up a fence on your back lot, on your back property line, and you back up to somebody else's backyard, you must place that fence a few feet inside your property line. Are you saying that's not the way it is?
That's not the way it is.
Okay, you're saying you can put it right on the property line?
You can put it, if we've got a client who's doing an entire new fence, we will put it just a few inches inside his property so he actually owns that fence.
Right.
It doesn't mean that his neighbor can't share the cost.
No, I understand that. You're saying that it's only the thickness of the fence that's setting back.
Right.
Okay, I didn't know that. So you don't come across 2 and 3 foot setbacks. Greenwood Village has a setback. Excuse me, Cherry Hills, because when I lived there, they wouldn't let me put up anything unless it was several feet back. And I don't know why. I mean...
We normally keep it just as close to the property line as possible.
Then there must have been something different. Then I must be talking about structures and not fences.
I think it is structures, Tom, and I think fences don't fall in that category.
I must be talking about structures, and it may not apply to fencing.
Yeah, but structures are mad. I mean, you're talking 25 from most neighbors and then 50 from a county.
Yeah, well, in the country. But in the city, Mark, there's usually like a 5...
In the city, it's 5-foot setback. Yeah. And we've been running into situations with air conditioners because they'll scrape these small houses and build a big house.
Daniel, go ahead.
Hey, Tom. Yeah, I do a lot of houses in new builds.
Yeah.
And typically, almost all of these builders for the last, 10 years, they don't usually put them to one side or the other. In new construction, when people buy a new house, usually the fence in between the houses, it's actually split right down the property line.
Oh man, if the builder's paying for it, then who owns it?
He's saying
the builder. I understand.
Yeah.
But who do they deed it to? Who is it? Who owns it?
Yeah, and I don't know how you work that out. If it's in the contract with the buyers or what. For a long time, I was doing fencing, and I would just shift. If I did an entire block, I would just shift one just like what your guest is talking about. I'd put it right to one side of the line.
And
so you'd have one guy on one end of the block that owned both his fences.
Yeah.
And then everyone else that owned the one to the right side of their property.
Exactly. Now, the reason now I remember the setbacks in Douglas County, why I had it. We had a bridle path. So if both people put up fences, there was a bridle path to ride your horses between the properties. I can see why that doesn't matter in the city. We're out of time. I just want to thank PlumlineServices.com, 303-586-1086, and of course, America Fence Building and Repair. Adult.
Bridal path. I think you guys got married there.
No, but bridal path. I did. That's exactly what I'm thinking when you said it.
I'm going, that's odd. I don't like it.
Yeah, bridal path's a big deal in the country.
Right there. I don't like the horse.
Do you know, even though
they
I
fucking
got
shit everywhere. How come you got to pick up after your dog, but you don't? I got lumps of shit like this.